Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and bees of all ages, welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association Week 2 League of Legends matchup between Facebook Senator, We Run Vlads, and Facebook More Cowbell. My name is Fennec, joined on the desk today, as always, by the ever lovely, effervescent, and ever lovable Thousand Eyes. How are you doing this fine Saturday, but to the viewers, Monday afternoon?
I am doing all right. Just got to sleep in a little bit, didn't have anything going on in the morning, and it was pretty nice. It was a nice relaxing morning, and now I am ready to see some incredible League of Legends gameplay.
Indeed, that could be the case, but there's a large rank disparity between the two teams, which we'll get into a moment. You know, in these types of matches, right? I think it's best to focus on the teams themselves and the company, right? Both these guys coming from Facebook, and both teams supporting MSF, also known as Doctors Without Borders, an international medical non-governmental organization, mostly known for projects undertaken to provide medical aid in conflict zones and countries affected by endemic diseases, where circumstances cause there to be a baseline rate of infection, with the overall mission being to expand accessibility to medical care across boundaries and irrespective of race, religion, creed, or political affiliation. And kind of one of those things, right? Have to remember CEA, these teams are playing for charity, right? MSF going to be the benefactor of any prize that either of these Facebook teams wins. Speaking of winnings last season, so the Senator We Run Vlad's team actually four-fifths we saw, or sorry, three-fifths we saw as the exact same Senator We Run Vlad's team last season, with
Hmm.
Jish joining from Instagram and Voltric. A bit of a new face for us here, at least on the broadcast. They made it to quarterfinals last season, which is, I think, really, really nice to see. They ended up losing out to the eventual second place team in Google Working From Home. Um, and I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table here.
Yeah, and we're getting spicy already. We've got the Draven. Looking at the bands, these are all bands that are focused on actual played champions. The Thresh, the Vlad, the Ashe, those are all highly played champions for rerun Vlads, and the Corki, Oriana, and the Vel'Koz, all very popular for more Cowbell. As we're going through there, you can see the Udyr being taken up. Still a really strong champion, has not been nerfed super hard. And I the Draven, I'm very intrigued by the Draven. So we'll see how that goes.
Indeed, we shall. And this is just one of those cases where you've got once again a bit of a rank disparity. Center and Vlad's mostly being made up of diamond players, whereas more Cowbell definitely more low elo. So picking kind of some of these high fear picks maybe a little bit disrespectful, but at the same time, you have the ability to do that. Maybe evens up the playing field a little bit more, makes for something a little bit more interesting. Lisa and Draven, both very snowbally champions. That you said though, Udyr definitely high priority right now in all echelons of play, and focusing in on Facebook more Cowbell here. Uh, they are a team made up of people across multiple divisions of Facebook: research materials, business development, and product operations. And they're a completely new team to CEA. And according to Kaz, who is the coordinator for Facebook's teams, they just formed because Kaz told them they're going to form as a team here. So, we can get a little bit into the team formation in the post game interviews. We're going to try to have members of both teams on there,
Mhm.
because it is interesting how Facebook runs these teams. Generally speaking, from my understanding, right, they have this big community or company LoL Discord, right? And at the start of the season, they're like, all right, let's see who works best with each other. And so slightly different teams coming out every season. But sometimes you get cores carried over, like the three players from Senator Rerun Vlad's last season. Um, and picks that I have seen that I want to see played here are the Quinn. I think Unseen Death.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
can play Quinn, and Volibear's been bad, and that's the other one that we've been told to watch out for from Unseen Death. So I want to see that Quinn come up in the top lane. Maybe not into something like a Jax, but we'll see. OP Sad Boys has yet to pick, and as we take a look here, that was
Yeah.
actually, I believe, not a misfortune, by the way. So it's Kai'Sa
Yeah.
Nautilus in the bot lane.
It's
Uh,
Nautilus. Yeah. Is the Lee Sin
that's
okay?
actually Lee Sin. That's actually Lee Sin. The so another thing, we have placeholders in the draft because not everyone owns every champion here.
Mhm,
So the Kai'Sa, or not the Kai'Sa, the Misfortune is a Nautilus.
mhm.
Um, one of those cases where I forgot to mention that. So you see Kai'Sa Misfortunes,
That's what I was gonna ask there. Is
thing.
Rerun Vlad's doing placeholders though? Because I thought
I
they were
Jish has not messaged me what that Nunu is, if it is a Nunu placeholder, which I assume it is.
Skarner because they're just picking all junglers here. I
That's
feel like
oh,
Rerun
that's
Vlad's is
true.
having some fun.
Oh, that's true. These are a bunch of junk. Wait a second, I forgot they picked up a lead. Thousand, thousand.
All right, give me the support Nunu. I'm here for it.
Well,
This is
we'll
gonna be
see.
fun.
I've not been told that any picks other than the Misfortune are placeholders.
Uh,
That will be Victor and Kale,
but is
probably
this the
actually
Nunu
in
mid?
Aurelia. We'll see. That's
We
all
will
I can
see.
say on this matter.
Yeah.
We'll see. Fine by me. It's a little bit trolly when you have a. It's a little bit trolly to go, these kinds of things. So once again, like there's this huge rank disparity. Make it a little bit more interesting, right? Not gonna hold it against either team on that one.
Yeah.
We'll
No,
see though.
I think that's great. I think that shows like We Run Vlad's is like, let's one have fun with it, and two, not take it super seriously because there are some rank disparities here, and having a little bit of fun with it is great. Like just don't if they took it super seriously and smashed, like I don't think anybody would have fun with that. So I'm glad that like the teams are willing to just kind of branch out, do some silly stuff, and have a good time with it.
Yeah. The other thing I think kind of to note is, at least according to their captain Jish, Senator Rerun Vlads makes a lot of coin flippy calls in their own words.
I
Nine times
do
out of
vaguely
10, if
remember
two
that.
plus players are missing from the map past 25 minutes, we're on Baron. Um,
Yeah,
I think I
I
think in DMs he said the most common term I hear is flip it around objectives. So
I do vaguely remember in the games we've casted for Jish that some of the calls have been like they're doing this. They are certainly making this decision. And
well, Jish was on the Instagram squad last season
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. But I
So
do
this is
remember us casting those games and being like, those are some bold calls. But now
yeah,
we are in the actual draft here. We will see where everything is going, slash if those are filler picks or not.
it's one of those cases where we understand the comp coming out here from the side of Facebook more Cowbell. Well, it looks like this might be the Lee Sin mid. I'm gonna be honest.
It
Um,
might be the Nunu mid. Might be Nunu mid and Lee Sin support.
oh no.
It's this
um,
spicy. It's spicy. Oh, it is. Let's go.
oh boy.
Oh, I am ready for this. This is gonna be so fun.
So wait, if it's the Lee Sin support, are we looking at like? Is this like Imperial Mandate or something? Like,
No, what this probably okay, there's two ways you could run it. You could go for like a full lethality and just try and blow people up, or you could go for like a full tank locket style kind of thing. Where you're just kind of really beefy, still have some damage, and you're looking to just kick people into your team.
all right, all
Both of
right.
those are valid ways, and the Nunu mid is a thing that was a popular pick for a while, a couple patches ago. It's gotten hit decently to kind of like bring it down a peg, uh, alongside the new items kind of taking it down. But it is like just a huge roam champion. It is Talon levels of roaming around the map and trying to create opportunities in the other areas of the jungle or the lanes.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited
It's gonna be
to
fun.
see how this works. This is gonna be fun. Um, and when you see these roam style mid laners, right? You're thinking, what lane do they want to snowball? Oh wait, they're swapping
No, they're
around.
not doing
That
that.
was
They're not doing that.
that
It's
was a
gonna
no.
be Skarner mid will make me cry, especially into a
That,
Victor.
that was a no. Wait, is
Yeah,
Draven
they're
mid?
having fun. They're having fun.
Wait, it's Nunu support? Aurelia mid, Draven top. What? No, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure it's all gonna go back to
I mean, they got 6 seconds. Wait, hello? Hello?
yeah, there
Okay.
you go.
Yeah,
There you
back.
go. They're going back. All right. So let's break down the more Cowbell team for a little bit because it is a
Yeah.
bit more of a standard composition. The Kale against the Irelia is a bit rough for that Kale in the early game. Irelia can just run you down pretty easily if you're not careful. Obviously, the level 6 point relieves a lot of those issues, but it's still there because Aurelia can just jump people very quickly. Level 11 is where Unseen Death is going to be able to really start popping off and become more of a problem, especially because that damage is like the only people who are going to be able to consistently get onto the Kale are going to be the support Lee Sin or the Irelia, and Kale at level 11 might have enough damage to threaten them to avoid keeping the dive. The Udyr we've seen a lot of. It's just super great, brings a lot of damage, and just midline fighting while also being very tanky. And that is a huge threat for these kind of mid game skirmishes. Victor, scaling champ, just looking to farm up, try and stay alive, and get a kill or assist if possible. And then the Kaisa is going to be able to bring a lot of early game and late game damage with a mid game fall off here. So this team is fairly well balanced, has some strong points at every section of the game. It's just going to be like if there are weaknesses that can really hurt them going into whatever area that champ is supposed to be strong in.
I feel it. I feel it. You know what else I feel? Lane matchups. By lane
Yeah.
matchups, I mean, what are the strong lanes? Where is this Nunu looking to gank from the side of center to rerun Vlads? Because you mentioned he's a roaming mid laner.
Yeah.
Where's he
Yeah.
roaming to?
I mean, both bot and top lane are very strong. Like Draven and Lee Sin are just aggro as all heck. They're gonna just really try and run it down your throat, and the Kaisa not gonna be able to really counteract that with her own early game power. It's just not the same level. So bot lane, top lane, they're probably going to get shoved under their towers and want to keep the wave there. If Nunu and Skarner go top before Kale is level 6, that could be a dive opportunity. So Light Ninja needs to be aware of that and be at the right side of the map. The Victor also, I'm assuming, will be running the TP, so that is another option to counteract those dives. But kind of keep an eye on those roams there to see if a dive is going to come out early and how much that's going to be counteracted by more Cowbell.
Yeah, and they have good counter dive, right? Kale, obviously, once she hits the level 6 with the Divine
Mm-hmm.
Judgment, should be able to make some things happen along the lines of protecting the ADC. And when we get to the late game, I think Facebook more Cowbell has a stronger comp, right? They have Kale who scales level 16 win condition, right? We have Victor who scales fairly well, as Kaisa, up against Draven, who doesn't really scale in the late game. Lee Sin, who's going to be more lethality. The only real scaler on the team is Aurelia. And at the same time, in a side lane push, I think the Kale beats the Aurelia after that level 16. So
Yeah.
perhaps if more Cowbell can delay the game, they can actually take that advantage that they have late and use it. However, and this is the big however, they have to survive this early game. It's going to be tough. We're loading into the game right now, looking at runes. It's PTA on the Aurelia, the
That's
Phase Rush on the Skarner, Dark Harvest on the Nunu, Dark Harvest Draven, and Electrocute Lee Sin. So these are very aggressive runes coming out. With the PTA on the Kale, the Aftershock on the Udyr, Phase Rush on the Vector, Kaisa with the Hail Blades, and Aftershock on Nautilus. So a bit more standard coming out from them. We do know this is going to be the tank Udyr, though, with that Aftershock.
Yeah, I mean, there really is only just the phase rush or the aftershock both go into a full tank Udyr because Phoenix Dance does so much damage. I'm surprised to see the PTA and the Dark Harvest there. Even AP Nunu will generally go for the phase rush because it's just so good at locking people down with the E, the second proc of it once you hit the snowballs. It's really good at repositioning that, getting behind the enemy and getting the ultimate down while they're rooted. It creates so much ability to cut off a retreat path. So I'm a little surprised to see the Dark Harvest. The PTA is not what you usually see. It's definitely the Conqueror on Aurelia most of the time there. So I'm really wondering what the thought process is behind that, but I guess we'll see.
Indeed, we shall, and as we are just about getting into the game, it's time to introduce the teams properly on the blue side. It is Facebook, more Cowbell with Unseen Death in the top lane, Light Ninja 47 in the jungle, Periodic Chaos 4 in the mid lane, Word of God in the AD carry role, and Captain Miner in support.
And on the red side, we have Senator We Run Vlads, OP Sad Boys in the top lane, Jishti in the jungle, Chingo in the mid lane, Potato Shooter on AD carry, and Voltric on support.
And we are now into the game properly. Looks like an invade start coming out here from Senator We Run Vlads. As the more defensive 5 points comes out from the blue team here of more Cowbell. Actually looking for the long wraparound here. Might be able to pack out Captain Miner.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this early level 1. Draven really strong, and just their team as a whole wants to snowball hard.
Well, speaking of snowballs, here comes the biggest one ever, Captain Miner. Go ahead and get knocked up into the Flawless Duet. And First Blood goes over to Chingo. Not much you can do against that level 1 there. Even if you spot it, Nautilus, even if he hooks away, probably still dies there. So,
Yeah,
in the meantime, Vision's not traded is a little bit surprising.
a little bit there. I think they were just kind of panicked seeing the people come in. The only option really for Captain Miner there was to flash over the wall. Not really a way for Nunu to follow that one up. So, but other than that, yeah, that is just a rough situation to be in. Kill did go to Nunu, so going to get that Dark Seal, or actually had the Dark Seal, gets the extra Doran's Ring, and now we are looking at a roaming mid laner that has a lead.
Yeah, that's always super scary. Skarner actually going for the leashless start here on his red buff, whereas the Udyr is going to go buff Wolves buff most likely.
Yeah, and you can already see the Nunu roaming here.
Yeah, starting to move topside with the biggest snowball ever. He's going to be spotted out on a ward, though. Just going to go ahead and cap the point for the Skarner in the meantime. Or from the Skarner in the meantime. Excuse me. Now roaming up with the Skarner. But, you know, you can't really do too much at this point when your ganks are that telegraphed. But they're going to keep on trying.
Yeah, level 2 coming in from the bot lane here.
Captain Miner now. He should fall again. Draven picks it up with the axes.
Lots of damage in that bot lane there. Gotta respect it, especially with the level 2, and Captain Miner unfortunately does go down again. I do want to just call out the really good early ward from Unseen Death in the top lane. She put that down in the bush, knowing that Nunu is a level 2 roam mid laner, and that can bite you, and Kale is definitely the target when it comes to early game ganks.
Indeed, the longer you can delay a Kale, the better your game's going to be come mid-game, or where Kale starts to get off the ground. At the moment, though, Unseen Death, 10 CS down on OP Sad Boys in that top lane. Does not feel great for the Kale to lane up against this Aurelia this early.
Yeah, there's a good amount of farm to still grab there, so it's a little unfair to say that it's 10 CS when it's like there's a couple for her to grab there. But yeah, it's definitely not a fun time, but the goal right now is just get that level 6 and then the farm will start coming in.
Yeah. Get the ranged auto attacks, be able to deal with OP Soundboys in the meantime, who is playing a little bit cheeky up in this river brush. Unseen Death, though, Missing a bit of CS here. Uncontested, which is a bit unfortunate. Periodic, though. Goes ahead and flashes, still gets bitten up, and will fall. Voltric picking that one up himself. Might die to the tower shot.
Oh.
Periodic is trading that one back. Onto the support, but still, a kill for a Victor is a kill for a Victor, especially with the new passive changes. He's now got 50 stacks towards Flurry's evolution.
Yeah,
So,
that's actually really
really
good,
nice.
honestly. That is a trade you will take as the victor there. And Voltric's still level 2. Tower shots ramp up, and that ramping damage swaps over to the new champion who is tanking the tower. And being level 2, Voltric cannot really take that, so getting the... Oh,
Flash to steal
flashing...
CS.
No, well, has the support item. So, flashing for the cannon there is an interesting choice.
Still going in. Draven's able to get the knockback, maybe looking for a bit more, but the hook from Captain Miner dissuades any further follow-up. His Unseen Death is forced to flash topside. Maybe he could have held that one, but you don't quite know. Knew that the Victor and the Meteor was roaming up, though, so... It's like 50-50 on that, but she's still 20 CS down at the moment, which is just kind of unfair. OP Sad Boy's just really bullying this matchup a bit harshly, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, and that's why you have the top lane help coming through. Captain Miner taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, taken down. Voltrek not going to be taken down by the turret. Will be taken down by the Kais in the meantime, but with Chingo here to follow up, it's still going to be a 2-for-1. Facebook more Cowbell. Kind of reeling from that one, but they still at least get a kill onto their AD carry. But the Draven, in the meantime, now 2-0-2. 2 stacks of Adoration at the moment. Going to be cashing in Draven stacks relatively soon. By cashing in, I mean he's cashed them, and he's going to cash them even more. You know what I mean. Draven passive's weird, all right? Directed camera didn't even think that was a kill worth showing. Okay.
It did show it. I saw it.
Oh. My directed camera doesn't show it.
Well, maybe you should have a talk with your directed camera, because I did see
Directed
that was
camera,
pretty
you suck.
standard. OP Sad Boy's just kind of running down with the stun. Now, Light Ninja going around. I don't think you want to take this here.
Yeah,
Teleport.
Aurelia at level 6 has the Vanguard's edge up. Unseen Death only level 5, so can't really help with that. And we see Light Ninja going in with the Phoenix stance. Gonna do a bit of damage, but with the Nunu already roaming up, it's gonna be a little bit tough. Here comes Jishti and Voltric, though. Slowed up by the gravity field. In fact, the stun lands. Voltric jumping on in with the Sonic Wave. Now Periodic Chaos in trouble. Finally taken down. Jishti barely able to survive the Chaos Farm as OP Sad Boys picks up another kill top side. Light Ninja also in trouble. Tries to scuttle the way around the blast cone, but takes everyone else over, and Absolute Zero flash forced out. Here comes the biggest snowball ever. Flawless duet, not so flawless in the meantime. Voltric ward hops over, a nice use of the blast cone, but the flash from Chingo's already there, and Nunu picks up the kill.
Yeah,
Fancy
Nunu...
footwork coming in from Light Ninja, though.
Yeah, no, that was actually really smooth there. Struggled with the blast cone, but post that was pretty good.
Hitter shooter on the 1v2 in the meantime. Oh, so close. No cigar, though.
Yeah, and I want to see Periodic Chaos actually start using this gravity field on the just Nunu as that aggressive tower dive is coming through there, because you can really punt. Nunu can't really stop it easily at that point, and will start tanking the tower. If you can time it right, you can actually just catch the Nunu under the tower pretty easily. But top lane is looking very rough now for Unseen Death, getting proxied and down about 60 farm here.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we were talking about early.
This is
with
rude.
With the kind of like rank disparity stuff. It sucks a lot to play against players who are that much higher ranked than you. I mean, Kale's a very decent, weak side top laner, but it's just one of those cases where, there's not much you can do. In this particular instance, I've been there before, playing in mixed rank leagues where it's, me, gold, playing Karma up against, this guy who's playing, 30 CS up on me on an AD bruiser, right? Even though
Yeah.
I'm technically in a counter matchup, it's like you still end up losing those. So it's nothing to be kind of ashamed about. It just is what it is.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting that this is the only lane that really is kind of like normal, all things considered.
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at bot lane with the support Lee Sin, you have a mid Nunu, like, they're not really normal champions, but this Kayle against Irelia is a losing matchup and a fairly common one.
Yeah, but 3 levels down losing is just kind of a skill gap, which, once again, nothing to be ashamed of in this particular instance. Nice snowballed up here out of Chaos. Might be able to actually find Shingo in the meantime, as Word of God had ulted in. The Caffeine Rain not doing the damage it needs to, and here comes Voltric over the wall. Rooted up by the Nunu. In with the Death Laser. Potato Shooter around, though, looking for the displacement. Finds Periodic Chaos in the meantime. Dark Harvest procs. Word of God! A little bit too far forward there, and Voltric picks up the kill, and now this is another one onto the Udyr. Double kill for Voltric as they move on to the Dragon.
Voltric definitely has this Lee Sin down. Getting the Q kick follow-up Q is the standard combo here, and there's that gravity field I talked about, but Shingo's just gonna stay out of range there. Potato Shooter gonna get this dragon for the team, but yeah, now this is just really Jish is having fun. Jish is having a good time.
That was rude. Just flashing to smite steal your own AD carry? Come on. Unseen Death, though, able to flash out the Flawless Duet in the meantime, topside. Now level 6, so should have a little bit of an easier time, but still almost Flame Horizon at this 11-minute mark. And, yeah, I mean, it is a losing matchup for Kayle. But once again, this, I think, just boils down to OP Sad Boys has absolute mastery on Aurelia and has kind of that experience difference that leads to these kinds of leads. So once again, nothing really going wrong with Unseen Death. It's just, it's one of those matchups. It happens.
Yeah, and especially when you're like up against somebody with that much of a skill difference, like falling behind like that is kind of expected to a degree. It's just like there are so many things that they know from experience that you just do not have yet, and that is like it just happens, and it's not anything like, oh, you're a bad player, just oh.
I mean, it's a nice Divine Judgment. Might actually get turret kill on Shingo. Nope, never mind. OP Sad Boys. Timing that one perfectly with the Vanguard's Edge into the QW there. So, or sorry, WQ, excuse me. So, really, really strong play coming in from OP Sad Boys. And, the other thing, right? Facebook More Cowbell, new squad this year, made up of lower ranked players. They are playing up against a squad made up of players that played in the quarterfinals last CEA corporate split, where we saw both Senator, We Run Vlads, and Instagram ending up going into those quarterfinals and losing to Google teams both times, actually, to the Google A and B teams. But in the meantime, OP Sad Boys in a 1v3 scenario might actually be the first step of the game. Very close to siling on them, though. Picks up one, but traded back. The shutdown goes onto the Kaisa. That's only a 900 gold shutdown instead of the full 1,000. Feels bad, man, but you'll take
900. That you take that, honestly. That's a good chunk of gold onto a champion that really thrives with extra gold, very item dependent, and will love to have that.
Yeah. Gold-wise, that's the most even lane too. As Captain Minder. Yes, taken down. I mean, 80 carry, right? Lee Sin's 2,000 up on the Nautilus, which is unfortunate, but, Nautilus doesn't really get gold, and Lee Sin's been getting a lot of kills. OP Sad Boys, though, should be able to just pick up Unseen Death here. Unfortunately, playing that far up, even with the vision, is very, very risky up against this Aurelia lane. And as we see, she has the vision to be playing that far up, but you're still that far behind on the Aurelia. You just take what farm you can. You're worth very little gold at this point, so...
Yeah, and I think the best option is just kind of like you unfortunately it's kind of a thing of trying to time that teleport, which is a tough thing to keep track of when you're trying to do everything else. And yeah, this tower will not fall yet, but turret plating will.
In the meantime, though, top lane T2 taken down. And we've been focusing a lot on this top lane matchup because I think it's the only standard matchup that we're used to. Elsewhere on the map, right, large leads are being gained by Senator Rerun Vlads. OP Sad Boys in the 1v2. Let's see what he can do. Two-man, flawless duet into the Vanguard's edge. 1-2, make that! 3 top skips and jumps, and the double kill goes over to OP Sad Boys. This is just mastery of the champion at its finest there. Really good timing of the Vanguard's edge.
Yeah, getting both the stuns, using up those free dashes, then getting the Vanguard's edge. Great. Oh, bot lane.
God. In with the killer instinct, but out of the way. It's a shutdown on a Draven. No adoration for you as Voltrick goes on a rampage. Still a 2-for-1 in the meantime, though.
Yeah, Potato Shooter needs to step it up here. Kind of letting his team down here. Going down, not getting many kills, not doing a whole lot here.
Yeah, so. Your support's got higher kills and higher assists, or only 1 less assist than you? Come on.
Almost the same amount of gold even. Like, that is depressing as a Draven.
Also a higher shutdown. 500 gold bounty, 800 gold shutdown with the Draven only being worth 500 on the death there, you know.
Voltrick very clearly the better player of the two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, though, I'm not gonna say, you know, the results here are like super unexpected, but there are some nice plays coming out from Senator Rhea and Vlads regardless. Yeah, you know, once again, OP Sad Boys looking very, very clean on the Aurelia. You don't win that matchup that well, even with that much of a rank gap, unless you have that level of mastery on the champion, which we see is pretty nice. Fun facts about the Senator Rerun Vlad squad in the meantime. Oh, never mind, Nunu's ganking mid. He's ganking his own lane. It's fine. Okay.
I also wanna give shout outs to Periodic Chaos because I think they're actually playing this Victor pretty well. Has been able to turn around a couple of unfortunate situations pretty well. Speaking of,
Periodic Chaos, nice flash, but here comes Voltrick and tanks up the tower shots, and the ult from the Draven picks up the kill. But still, it's a shutdown onto the support, but you take those no matter what. In the meantime, though, Skarner ultimate onto Light Ninja, tries to make his way out, and Scene Death is here. She's got a flash out of the way. That was Light Ninja in trouble, knocked up by the biggest snowball ever, and Potato Shooter cashes in the stacks in the meantime. And, so here are some fun facts I was given about Senator Rerun Vlads. Did you know that OP Sad Boys is willing to first time anything in the draft? We need to see the first time coming out game number 2 from OP Sad Boys, all right? First time in Ivia top. Do it for me, all right?
I was gonna say I don't try and lie to us and say this Aurelia is a first time either.
No, it's not their first time Aurelia. We saw the mastery. I'm just saying. It obviously wasn't a first time Aurelia from OP Sad Boys, but we need to see a first time Anivia top coming out next game. You know? Jish D once got a hook onto I'm a Cutie Pie as Blitz. Jish D also in a 1v3. A little bit deep, taken down.
Jish D also running it down. That is a fun fact.
I mean, he said flip this is, you know, the motto for the team, so.
Yeah, that one was a Tails.
that one was a Tails, but it was like a D6 where 5 sides was Tails and the other side was heads. Meanwhile, though, Voltrick eating down the Victor. Chingo in, pops the ultimate. Absolute Zero picks up the kill on the Udyr and Captain Miner. Not long for the world double kill for Chingo on the Nunu. 6-0-7, by the way.
All the Dark Harvest stacks popping, just pop, 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 pop. Just constantly there, and yeah, OP Sad Boys just kind of running around catching farm here at this point. I don't think anybody wants to fight him anymore.
So another fun fact: Voltric's main game is Bloons Tower Defense. Just plays League for fun. Now,
Also, casually Diamond too.
nah. It is the most casual of Diamond 2s in the meantime. I'll be sad, boys. Knife flash out of the way. I'm gonna flawless to it meantime, though. Now going back in, pops the ultimate, Periodic Chaos on the Divine Judgment. Chingo goes godlike. In the meantime, Dark Harvest procs abound as a double kill lands for the Nunu. Shut down onto the Victor in the meantime, though, but it's still a triple for the Nunu and Willump combo. 2 for 3. Shutdowns going over. So gold actually about even on that one, believe it or not, for the two teams.
Yeah, I gotten a little bit hypey there. The Victor ult doing a lot of work there. Periodic Chaos. Oh.
Unofficial Quadra? Make it the unofficial Penta. Maybe. Unofficial Penta. Let's go. Speaking of Chingo, you know Chingo's name is Spanish for I love you.
That one, I don't think is true.
I don't
feel
think
a little
it's true
lied to about
either,
that
but
one.
this is just what I've been told. Jish, you're lying to me, baby. I'll be sad boy. In the meantime, dives in on a Periodic Chaos, picks up the kill, Potato Shooter as well. One man on the flawless duet, ends up picking up another one off the reset of the Q. It's double kill. Here comes World of God. No, triple kill for Potato Shooter. And the word of God is Draven.
Draven is the god.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that Chingo plays on a trackpad because his doctor recommended him to work out his thumb muscles?
Understandable. My favorite way to play Draven is on trackpad.
And the team loves flexing Swain in all 5 roles, so give me that Swain flex pick next game. Specifically, Swain jungle.
I want to see like some real spicy stuff. Just like give me a Blitzcrank top. Give me an Alistar mid, full AP. Just really go for it.
What are this? You know? 18k gold lead at 21 minutes. Just how it be like sometimes. As they go for the Ocean Dragon, third one of the game. Just flashing over just to hit the blast cone. A little bit of styling right there. A little bit. More Cowbell. You need to give me some of these fun facts so I can list them off about you in the meantime. Captain Miner pops the ultimate after being ulted by the Starner. Still taken out by Voltric in the meantime. Upbeat Sad Boys in with the ultimate. Gets the Q reset. Gets the kill. Here comes Chengo. And with the largest snowball ever. Gets the bite down on Victor over the wall. And Potato Shooter goes dominating in the meantime.
That is a hungry Nunu.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Big chomps.
And unseen death. What? What? Snowball jump 2 shots of Kale? I mean, it's 25 Pac-Man dies, but game number 1, regardless, going over to Senator Rerun Vlads. Really, strong play coming out from them. Once again, it's just one of those cases where I don't think more Cowbell is anything to be really upset about. Skill gap a little bit, but at the end of the day, still strong showing coming out from Senator Weir and Vlads, and I think there were high points, if you can call them that, from more Cowbell. Periodic Chaos 4 actually, as you mentioned, did fairly well in the Victor, and Word of God on the Kaisa. 5-8-1 doesn't look like a great scoreline, but in the context of this game, you know, makes up a majority of the team's kills and has been actually looking fairly good in that lane matchup. Ending up even gold with the Draven up until that point in the game, though. I must say, really tough game for more Cowbell and Senator Rerun Vlads. Looking very strong once again.
Yeah, I mean, there were some bright spots there. I think Periodic Chaos and, like you said, uh, Word of God had a couple of really good plays to get some gold in the pockets, but it is tough. If anybody out there has gone up against a huge kind of a rank disparity, and you've tried to play against like mid-level diamond players as like a silver or gold player, it is hard. So, I mean, huge props to more Cowbell for being able to kind of just stand up and take the shots as much as they have been.
Yeah, and I've been in that situation before. Exact same situation as Unseen Death, where I, in a mixed rank, like I was consistently up against diamond top laners and occasionally diamond mid laners. Um, and it's one of those cases where learning how to interact when you're being skill gapped is a great skill to have in League of Legends, especially if you're playing competitively. Um, Not necessarily great in this particular instance, to kind of get it handed to you like that, but kind of persevering, being like, okay, how can I actually do better? You can actually make something out of that and become a strong weak side top player. When you do that kind of mentality and when you do that kind of exercises. At the moment, though, teams are looking ready to go into the game two draft, so no break between the two games. Thousand, what are we looking for from both these teams into the game two draft?
Okay, so I mean, I think you'd want to see Unseen Death on something a little bit less risky than the Kale, something that can be a little bit a little bit safer in the lane there. Obviously, like it is rough. That lane has, I think, the highest skill disparity in the game in the series here. So just get something real simple. Just a huge beefy tank and stay alive under the tower. Do what you can. Other than that, maybe something a little bit more aggro from in the jungle there. The Udyr, while it farms really well and skirmishes really well, I think the actual impact as far as the lane goes can be very minimal. And what I'd like to see something that can gank a little bit stronger to give some help to these lanes and kind of throw the rank disparity around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. Perhaps maybe actually go for some lane swaps here. I I'm not even saying that as like a joke or whatever, but it's like one of those cases where maybe you want to put up perhaps Word of God if they play top lane, putting into
Hmm.
that top lane, getting in that where that largest kind of disparity was last game, and try to make something a little bit nicer happen. Uh, it's just one of those cases where uh, you got to make adjustments. This game essentially, right? We're in round two of the Swiss. Both teams came off week one wins, right? But we're still not to the point where parity is necessarily reached in a Swiss bracket. That typically happens later on down the line when you have as many teams as we have in CEA, right? So when we're at this kind of point in the Swiss, or we're at round two, we still see some of this disparate matchups, right? But they have shown that they can win, right? This is
Hmm.
both teams won their game one matchups. So up against teams of similar rank, I think more Cowbell probably has a much better time. And I, see kind of these flashes where it's like, okay, you're playing to your game plan with the Victor, you're playing to the game plan with the Kaisa. The Kale didn't necessarily get off the ground. Maybe you adjust that pick, or maybe you do some sort of shuffles around. But at the same time, I still see some things where it's like, okay, they understand what their comp's doing. And that's kind of all you really need at these lower elos. Like Thousand, you and I cast gold leagues all the time. The
Hmm.
number one thing I think that differentiates teams, and perhaps you can correct me on this one, I think is how well they play their comps. It's not how well they
Hmm.
play the individual champions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest differences that we see are understandings of matchups and how to lose gracefully, as well as just understanding what the composition does and not getting baited into what the enemy team wants to play. Vision control also becomes very big. Those are kind of like the big things when you're looking at a team perspective that kind of show up. obviously champion mastery goes up more and more as you get into the higher ranks, but the biggest things that separate a bunch of diamond players that just got together versus a team that has played together is understanding of comp and understanding of where people need to be at certain points.
Indeed, and that goes all the way down, right?
Mhm.
If you have a team fight comp, you have Oriana, Jarvan, Rumble, for instance, just off the top of my head, right? Or Oriana, Jarvan, Leona, Misfortune, right? Understanding that this is how we need to play a team fight, and if we don't play the team fight like this, we're going to be at a disadvantage is something very important to know. Facebook More Cowbell didn't actually really draft towards that team fight. They drafted towards the late game, and they actually tried stalling fairly well. Perhaps they want to rotate the Victor into that side lane earlier. Maybe as Victor has a little bit of a split push presence in that mid game. However, as we're into the game 2 draft, we see the bans Oriana, Corki, and Vel'Koz being banned away by Senator Rerun Vlads as More Cowbell bans away the Thresh, the Vladimir, of course, and the Ashe. With the first pick, Maokai, I don't think OP Sad Boys is going to be playing this one, if I'm going to be honest. I think
All
just to
trick.
appease you, we're going to see Imperial Mandate Imperial Mandate Maokai support.
Yeah, probably that alongside the comet, considering how aggressive we run Vlad's or yeah, we run Vlad's is kind of going with this. So not surprised there. Same bands as the previous game there, and there is the Ornn. That I think is a great pick here, just going up against OP Sad Boys, who is very competent on these like aggressive top laners. Just get the Ornn, get something that can handle itself in a lane fairly well. That isn't just a like uber passive early game weakness, but can also scale up and be a frontliner for your team.
Yeah, and in that sideline as well, you run into this idea with the Ornn where he does a surprising amount of damage, and you have to respect him. It's the same thing with like the Shen matchup, right? If you don't respect the Ornn damage early, he will come at you with the Bellow's Breath, clap you, you lose half your health, and then once he hits level 6, he kills you. So perhaps we see something like that. Perhaps we see maybe some cheeky play towards that top side of the map, despite the fact that Ornn is generally considered a weak side top laner. That said, though, Lilia being picked up in the jungler, I know our producer is very happy about that one. In the meantime, with the Ivern also being picked up. Now, I guess this is going to be Ivern jungle. However, it can always be Ivern top. Thousand, since you were not a particular fan of the Ivern top, I hope you're not telling me that it's going to be the Ivern top here, right? Right?
Look, at this point, I don't feel like I can make any confident decision on where We Run Vlads is going to take their champions. They are kind of just doing whatever they feel like doing, and that's honestly like fine by me. I would rather them just kind of do something silly and have fun with it than just go super hard. So whatever they want to do, I am here for it.
Yeah, in the meantime, though, it looks like we're seeing picks for position actually coming out as far as order is concerned. Um, which means, perhaps OP Sad Boys is actually on the Maokai top lane, which not necessarily something I would associate with OP Sad Boys, but if it works, I guess. Speaking of OP Sad Boys, did you know that he enjoys taking walks in the daytime, but still needs to take vitamin D pills?
You're
Jish, we're
going
gonna
back to
need
the
to
fact.
talk after this. Jish, we're
Yeah,
gonna need to talk about these facts.
some of these facts are a little they seem a little
Little,
bit trolly.
a little bit sus. A little bit.
Little bit.
There's the Quinn Francine death, though.
Ooh,
This is a pick we were talking about.
yeah.
One that she plays quite a bit of. I think getting onto comfort is very important.
Yeah.
When you in rank disparities, but also just when you're in lower elos, I think comfort generally trumps anything other than team comp, right? Like generally you pick comfort within your team comp as far as pick priority goes. We see Kalista, we see Mundo. OP Sad Boys has gone on the record and says he takes it personally when the enemy team picks 4 AP and leaves Mundo up. Now I see 3 AP right now.
Yeah, what you going with, Light Ninja?
Uh ooh. Is
Okay.
this Wukong support Quinn ADC? This actually could be
This
that.
is Quinn ADC. I will tell you that much. I believe this might actually be the Wukong support here, and I'm
Uh,
going
uh,
to guess the Mundo will be going into the top side, Ivern in the jungle, Pike mid. So this is a little bit more of a standard composition, unless
well,
they completely troll us and throw everything around.
I, I mean, it is for sure Kalista ADC. I think Mundo's probably still going to go into the top side because I don't think Mundo really works as a support. I
That would
mean,
be
he could be
correct.
top or jungle. Could always be Maokai jungle, right? As I keep on moving around here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this is. Wait, no. Oh my god.
It's the
Please.
Callista top lane.
Hello?
Oh,
You know, he's setting first
oh,
time anything. He's setting first time anything.
oh, that sucks for Captain Miner. That is not a fun lane. Callista top lane is kind of a thing for some players. Some people will take it as a really aggro type top laner, kind of like what Quinn is, or like Vayne top. It just runs people down, especially against these immobile tanks like Ornn. Can just be kited out constantly, and lots of damage can come through. And the best thing about it is you can actually link up with the jungler instead of the support because you aren't laning with anybody. That
Yeah.
is that sucks.
With an Ivern as the jungler too, that's actually really, really nice. Because Ivern, you know, he's got his passive, can kind of go in, step very, very far. It's very, very close, very, very fast. Um,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, hey, bring me in, chief. And then Fate's call into the long step. That's a large engagement range, especially with Daisy off cooldown. Right, you can kind of go ahead, do that, get a boatload of knockups on the Daisy. We'll see exactly how that gets played, though. I also think Callista into Ornn as a matchup is very similar to the Vayne top into Ornn
Mhm.
matchup, right? Where you know you're not doing as much true damage, right? The same way that Vayne is with the silver arrows or silver bolts, but at the same time, Ornn does not like this at all. He can't really kite out the range. You're still going to do quite a bit of damage to him, even through his tank with the Rend, especially. So
This is not
I mean,
fun. Captain
I like
Miner
the
is not going to
matchup,
have a fun time.
but I guarantee you this is like this might be first time Callista for OP Sad Boys. Yeah, at least according to the team sheet, you know, at least according to what I've been
I
told by
okay.
DB.
So all things considered, like Callista is tough to play, but I think if you understand how to like attack move on any AD carry, you can pick her up decently. So I would not be surprised to see OP Sad Boy start popping off on this. I do want to talk about how this mid lane is going to go because Chingo once again going for the kind of supportive run around the map style of mid laner here. Maokai not going to be able to shove this Victor in very well. If I think honestly, periodic chaos could start getting big if Chingo does not get a lot of help or get things done around the map. So keep an eye on this Victor here and see what periodic chaos can do into this mid area of the game.
Yeah, and speaking of the mid area, the Lilia I think can make aggressive plays with this Victor. As well. Word of God was on the Kai'Sa last game, performed very well on that pickup. But his periodic chaos was on the Victor and did fairly decently, right? So kind of having those two core together, maybe making some runs around the map. If we see kind of this more burst centric Lilia build come out with the Dark Harvest, it could be very interesting. In fact, this is the Dark Harvest on the Lilia, so this will be the burst centric build with actually Unsealed Spellbook being taken by Ornn in the top lane. This one's a little bit interesting just because I think it's one of those it's one of those generally seen as rank gated runes where you have to have such a knowledge of the game where you're always going to be able to use it properly. But we'll see how well that works. It is, of course, Callista top with the Halo Blades, Ivern with the Summer and the Airy in the jungle, Maokai with the Comet mid lane. I think we expected the AP Maokai there. Phase Rush on the Victor, Quinn with the PTA, Wukong with the Conqueror, Comet on the Mundo, and support in the Halo Blades Pike in that AD carry role as we are getting into the game here. What are we expecting timing-wise from both these teams?
Can you be a little more specific on what you mean by timing? Because that could be a lot of things.
When are these teams looking to fight? When are we seeing, first ganks, first blood?
I mean,
Uh,
you're gonna be seeing it right out the gate here for We Run Vlads. They just want to be aggro all the time here. The more fights going on, the better, especially for champs like the Pike. The Maokai has a lot of early game damage when it's going into that AP route, but on the opposite side here, for more Cowbell, it is once again a late game kind of scaling comp. They have a little more aggressive early game. Lilia's mid game is pretty darn good.
oh no.
Oh no.
Flash it unseen. That's still pulled in by the Pike, though. At least the kill went over to the Ivern. You know?
Yeah, and Chingo's actually gonna get the black spear there. So matching up with this Maokai, I like this better than the Ivern. Generally, you want to give it to somebody who's melee, somebody who can frontline a little bit, so that they can just get into the fight as quickly as possible. So, little not surprised to see that. Chingo will be roaming around the map a lot too, so not a bad choice at all. Oh, this is a Wukong carry?
He's got the heal, but we'll see who takes the farm.
Ornn is going into the bottom side here.
Yeah, how can you actually check for Black Spear, by the way? Because I don't see that on patches.
I don't know. I am not sure how you can check that. But I did see Maokai die in the base. So trust me on this. If it didn't show up on directed camera, it definitely is the Maokai.
Okay. In the meantime, though, Unseen Death has actually rotated topside. So I think you're right. It is Wukong carry with the Ornn support. Picking up Captain Miner, taken down. On that level 2. Nice flash, though, to avoid the White Ninja. So, I think Quinn into Callista is better than Ornn into Callista, to be fair. However, it still is, I think, one of Quinn's rougher lanes, because she's not able to take advantage of her range as much, even though Callista is a relatively short-ranged AD carry, right? Quinn's very squishy, and Ren chews through squishy targets very well, but Unseen Death... Oh, well, never mind. I was about to say, going in for a bit of a nice trade, but had 2 spears in her, so...
So goodbye, Captain Miner. Uh-oh.
Wait, Light Ninja's here, though. Sad Boys actually might be in trouble from Word of God in the meantime, but he's got 4 spears onto the Lilia, looking for the Rend. OP Sad Boys down to 100 health, and there's the Rend.
It was so close. Word of God flashed in place instead of repositioning the Q, and that might have been the damage that would have helped OP Sad Boys go down.
Oh, Captain Miner very, very low in the meantime. Potato Shooter picks up the kill. Trying to trade it back. Goes the Wukong, but still a double kill as Voltric stays alive with about 100 health. And, I hesitate to say more of the same, because this is a little bit... Oh, okay, now it's more of the same. That is a very hypey flash dive.
Ooh,
Victor's still able to get 25 stacks. On the Voltric. Feels nice. Jish D might be in trouble, actually. Lilia picks up the kill onto the Ivern. Now Chingo in trouble. He's got Dark Harvest proc on him. Tries to go in.
Let's go.
Instead gets caught on. Double kill for Word of God. So I cast or curse the more of the same, but I'm totally okay with that there.
Yeah, that is absolutely fine for Word of God there. And Periodic Chaos also getting a kill there, so getting a lot out of that really hyphy dive from We Run Vlads. But top lane is not a fun time here. Unseen Death just really scared to walk under the turret, and OP Sad Boys is going to just clean up this bot lane. Or top lane, rather.
Yeah. Meanwhile, though, Captain Miner chunked out a bit, not able to get the class he wants. Zopi Sad Boys, only a level up on Unseen Death. Like, yes, Unseen Death is at a similar CS. Oh. Is that a similar CS deficit? It actually was last game, but the experience deficit is actually a lot better on this Quinn than it was on the Kale.
It got really bad before Kale hit level 6. It was the level 5 for a long time.
Meantime, though, OP Sad Boys taken down! That's a kill for Unseen Death as Potato Shooter picks up another one bot side. And with the hook, double kill for the Pike. As Jish D in trouble in 1v2. Here comes the dog. Unseen Death picks up that kill as Chingo goes around. There's a sapling into the bush. Flash forward with the twisted advance. Picks up the kill. Word of God's around, though. We'll trade that one back as Periodic Chaos 4 with the TP play picks up the kill.
That's great. Yeah, you want to give that kill to Periodic Chaos, not just because it's the victor, but using the TP to get up there. You can see already has the evolved E. That is very fast to get that in the first 6 minutes. And that has to do with the 2 kills and 1 assist. That is 75 right there. And you can see the minions killed also adds that up to a just over 100. And now you're seeing, okay. So generally, when the game gets really fast-paced, if the team that is a scaling team can keep up at least decently, that actually works out for the late-game team. They are the ones who will make more use out of the gold. The game moving at a faster pace means they are getting to their item and level breakpoints faster. It's really just kind of all about using that gold and experience correctly.
Yeah, and something I think to note about this top lane matchup is that OP Sad Boys doesn't have a level 6 power spike the way that Unseen Death does. Because Kalissa's ultimate is entirely reliant around another champion being there. Flash out from Unseen Death to avoid getting taken up. Here comes Captain Miner, now hooked back in. OP Sad Boys able to pick up a kid in the top side. In the meantime, though, is Voltric ends up picking up the Orange. Sunlands, double kill for the We Run Vlads support, but Periodic Chaos and Word of God is here. Chengo as well. Looks at the sapling, gets the twisted advance forward into the knockback. They root down with the ultimate as Potato Shooter finds the reset. And this should be the goodbye on Word of God. X marks the spot, not gonna mark the second one, but still a double kill regardless for Potato Shooter on the Pike.
Yeah,
it's called Death from Below, but I can still call it X marks the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it gets the point across there. Voltric getting very low, but not going down there, unfortunately, and Periodic Chaos kind of walking into a bunch of death. And this was the thing that worried me here as I saw this bot lane going poorly. It's bad enough when Pike is doing really well before the level 6 point. When Pike is ahead this much at the level 6 point, the gold starts skyrocketing. He's just printing money constantly out with that ultimate, and he snowballs so much harder, and this Mundo alongside him is going to snowball super hard with the cut. So this is fairly scary, and oh my goodness, I just realized how strong the Ivern and the Maokai together are. With the Ivern putting bushes anywhere, that means that Mundo will get the... Yeah, goodbye, Unseen Death.
Yeah, here comes the rent.
But not forgotten.
Well, just tease around, though. Unseen Death, actually, still alive for the time being. Word of God is around. Has the Lilting Lullaby. Unseen Death, though. Taken down. And Word of God really couldn't do anything about that, unfortunately.
Here comes the sleep.
Word of God, excuse me. Finds a Lilting Lullaby, excuse me, on OP Sandbox. Straight damage coming back on the meantime. As Death from Below picks up one, and Word of God goes down. With assistance from Jishti. And so, here we are again.
Oh, they're gonna dive this.
Oh, well. Wait, that's
not even getting the kill. That is unfortunate.
Wait, no.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. It's all falling apart.
This is just dirty. I mean,
close your eyes, kids.
They held on longer this game, I will say. They took more Cowbell, except for bot lane. They held on longer. I think Periodic Chaos still actually doing fairly admirably on the Victor, and the early plays from Word of God on the Lilia were good. Unfortunately, though,
Didn't capitalize on it.
I mean, you can't really capitalize that hard on it when you're losing the other lanes. And Word of God just getting chunked out by a single Q from OP Sad Boys as well.
They keep going for this Callista, and I think you just have to sack it at this point. You can't fight her. You can't go against her.
Here comes the run, just stay around them.
It's just so like the damage on the Callista is so kind of like it baits you very hard because you're like, oh, I'm still fairly healthy and I'm starting to win these trades, so I can keep going. And then the rent happens.
Finds OP Sad Boys. Here comes Unseen Death, the shutdown. Hello there. Nice 750 gold
Almost
going over to the
Milton
here with Dishty in the meantime. Maokai roaming up. Now we see a 1v2 taking place bot side. Captain Mirror ends up getting taken out by Potato Shooters. Dishty's around. The sleep lands. Word of God, though. In a little bit of trouble. Still trying to get the junk on a dish, but he's able to shield that one up as Chingo finally finds the roam. Double kill. For the Maokai flash forward. Voltrek has pots the sadism. Still caught up in a Chaos Storm, though. Shielded up by the Ornus. The TP comes down bot side. Light Ninja in with the Cyclone on a Potato Shooter. They're looking for the shutdown, but here comes the TP in from OP Sad Boy. Summoner heal has been used. OP Sad Boy kiting forward on the Callisto, looking for quite a few spears in. Here comes the Rend. OP Sad Boys picks up the Ornn in the meantime. Fear out of Chaos in trouble. Nope, you can't do that one, my friend. Blind enemy lines from Unseen Death. Makes the roam happen in the meantime, but unfortunately she can't really get the damage in time. As the dive looks bot side, OP Sad Boys picks up Light Ninja. You know, intercompany battle between the two teams. As we see, you know.
Yeah, and I don't know what the corporate ladder is between these teams, but I feel like if there is anybody on more Cowbell that is of a higher level on that Facebook team, they might need to have a talk here. Might like to talk to you after work. Might need to have you come in on a Saturday. Get some extra work done, you know.
And they were never seen from again.
Yeah, no, it's quite unfortunate.
Sad story. Meanwhile, though. So that's it from below, just 50 to 0 and Ornn.
Yeah. No, that's about what you'd expect at this point.
Okay, you knew the reset was there. You can't afford to play that far up. Well, the Potato Shooter ultimate has been reset.
Potato Shooter sitting on 2 pickaxes right now, and how much gold does Potato Shooter have? Ah, yes. 8,600 compared to the under 3K on Light Ninja.
Forge God, though, flashed out by the Callista. On Bella's breath, looking for the clap. He still can't find the clap as the Callista just keeps kiting around. Cyclone in, gets a knock-up. Second Cyclone as well, but Callista keeps on kiting out of the way. Looking for the red on the Light Ninja. Will be able to find it in a second there, and Light Ninja in trouble here. Down to 100 health. The 1v2 from OP Sad Boys. It's the dream. It's the meme. OP Sad Boys with the 2v1 double kill on the Callista. As...
That is the power of Callista. that is why we didn't want to see the... Oh.
Wait, it's only 14 minutes in. Turret plates still haven't gotten down. It's 30 kills to 8.
Yeah, and that is why you didn't want to see the Ornn against the Callista there, because, like you said, the clap could not come through because she just kept hopping around, and it is just getting worse and worse here.
Give me some chips and guac. It's Fiesta o'clock. Hello. Just double it. Just triple it. Stole the reset. You stole the reset from the third death from below there.
Oh, OP Sad Boys. Is he just gonna 1v2 under tower?
I mean, the Pike's here. Rend almost actually got the 1v2. Potato Shooter picks that one up with the Ignite in the
In
meantime.
essence, a 1v2.
Pretty much, yeah. This might actually be a sub-20 game. Now I'm thinking about it. Just, despite what was actually decent early pressure coming in from Word of God and Fear Out of Chaos, I mean, it's just another rank cap game. Nothing to be ashamed of, right? Don't be sad, boys. Playing very admirably as well as Periodic Chaos, and I think Unseen Death, despite only being 17 CS, actually looks better on the Quinn than she did in game number 1 on the KO.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And I mean,
CS numbers
it's worth
are not
mentioning
fair,
that
but
Unseen Death is only Iron 1 and playing against diamond level players, like, that's hard. That is hard as heck. So getting what she did get is really good, honestly. I've seen some pretty good things.
it is quite impressive, actually, with some of these plays on the Quinn. Like, definitely understands the champion very well. But it's just one of those cases where it's you know, any small weakness will get exploited, and it just happened that particular, or this particular game. This Potato Shooter picks up a death from below onto the mid lane. They keep on keeping on. Looking for the Dignitas, though. For Senator, we run Vlads. I was promised a Dignitas, actually.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't promised a Dignitas from Jish D, but I want a Dignitas. Jish, make it happen. Periodic Chaos flashing out of the way in the meantime. Flash ever from Voltric, picks up the Infected Cleaver, now slowed up by Lilia. Call the Forge God, looks for 2, finds 2. In the meantime, here comes the knock up. The Quinn's here. Lilting Lullaby ends up picking up the sleep as the shutdown goes over to the Quinn. But we sad boys trying to run out of the way in the meantime. As Chingo goes ahead and splits top. Here comes the Goon Squad.
Voltric pinging the Callista ultimate being ready, saying that I'm the support. You're supposed to be pulling me, not the mid laner.
It's fine. It's fine.
A little bit frustrated on that one.
That said, Chingo might be in a 1vx scenario here if the Potato Shooter's around. 15-0-5 is the pike, by the way.
You do on pike.
What does Light Ninja do there? That was 4 auto attacks from Cool stuff. One more auto or a Ren would have killed him.
Yep. Yep, that is the state of the game, unfortunately. OP Sad Boy's just gonna run it down.
Well, here comes the run in fact. Double X in. Shingo picks up one of those kills. His double kill will land onto the Victor this time. Hook in, looks for the third axe. Potato Shooter goes legendary, pick up Quinn in the meantime. Daisy chasing down under tower on the Wukong. 4-0, and they're looking for the sub-20 end here. That inhib. So actually, here's an interesting bit. Generally speaking, you don't want to take an inhib pre-20 unless you are planning to end on that push. Because otherwise, it's a lot of gold going over to the enemy team. Okay, Sad Boys diving in onto Word of God. In the meantime, just needs a Ren, finds it. Here comes the Cyclone, the Quinn, into the backline. 3-man knockup from the Ornn. In the meantime, Light Ninja, health bar very low, but they're able to pick a Voltric as OP Sad Boys kites out one out. Finds one, flash forward, finds 2. That's a triple now. And Captain Miner, only one alive on his team. It's a quadra kill for OP Sad Boys. Come on. You gotta give it to him. Give him the penta, please. No,
Captain Miner doesn't
they're
want
not
to
gonna do it. They're looking for the dot. Nope. Nope. Does not happen. Chingo Jishti and Potato Shooter in the mid lane now pushing in. As the spot T3 falls. God finds a sleep. Not a Potato Shooter, but here comes the Quinn diving in. What? That was 100-0 on the Quinn as Captain Miner gets a 2-man knockup. Doesn't matter. Shutdown lands onto the pike though as Chingo has to flash over the wall. Maybe it does matter with that knockup. In fact, Word of God though, in trouble, caught up by the Twisted Advance, finds to get the Q, but Chingo goes unstoppable in the meantime as Voltric is in, pops the Chem tank as the TPs are being channeled. OP Sad Boys looking for the end here. Now into Light Ninja. 1, 2, 3 auto attacks at a rend, and OP Sad Boys picks up the kill. Now Periodic Chaos, last member of his team alive. Under tower, maybe they'll look for the dive again. They don't have Daisy. Unseen Death has. Oh, okay, execute on a Just D there. Unseen Death is back up. Looking for OP Sad Boys. Double kill though in the 1v2. Ace's Volchek picks up one with the Infected Cleaver, now taking up the Fountain. Word of God. In trouble. This is a bit of a Dota strat right now, just holding out on Fountain. Not something you typically see in League of Legends, though.
Yeah, Pyke's ultimate is doing 680 damage. If they are under 680 health, they are just killed. So.
Okay, then. Also, 4-item Pyke at 20 minutes. Not a pre-20 victory, but pretty damn close, if I do say so myself. Unseen Death. Gonna try to find a little bit more, but with the demo bugging out, we know that means it's the end of the game. Senator rerun Vlads with the 2-0 victory. Some fancy footwork coming out from OP Sad Boys both games here.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah, looking real strong on that Callista, and Potato Shooter making up for last game. Didn't do as well as the rest of the team, and picked it up with the Pyke and did pretty darn well this time around. I mean, congrats to We Run Vlads for pulling the 2-0.
Yeah, I honestly, you know, yes, it is a much weaker team. Yes, they kind of meme some of these drafts, but also they played well. OP Sad Boys, I think, did very well both games on the Aurelia and on this Callista. I think Chingo, despite doing kind of meme picks, also did very well on both the picks. With that Nunu not being deathless in game number 1, and here having a quite high KP, 22 KP in from that Maokai and Potato Shooter game number 2. Like, what? Pike ADC, it's the new thing. It's the new thing.
Yeah, it is. It looks pretty strong here, but I mean, congrats to more Cowbell as well for just taking on this team in the first place, because that is a rough matchup, and they still were able to have some high points in those games. So I mean, big props to them for what they were able to accomplish in this game.
That said, though, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for a couple of interviews here with Sad Boys and Captain Miner, top laners from that game number 2. So we'll see you right after this, but don't go anywhere. Interviews with both of the teams in a sec. Welcome back, everybody, to the Corporate Esports Association Week 2 League of Legends match between Facebook Senator Rerun Vlads and Facebook. I believe the team name was More Cowbell, excuse me. My name is Finnick, joined on the desk today by Thousand Eyes, and we have Captain Miner from More Cowbell and OP Sad Boys from Senator Rerun Vlads in the call with us. How are you guys doing after that 2-0?
Pretty good. Thank you guys for having us. I always really enjoy popping into the CA stream, so appreciate to be here.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having us. I think we are feeling like just surviving that series was very much a mental victory. I think there was somewhat of a fairly obvious skill gap, but I think our team showed that we're strong mentally for sure.
Yeah, and congratulations to or congratulations to Senator We Run Vlads for that series. But once again, I think congratulations for keeping the strong mental there. For more Cowbell and I think you guys had some actually good plays early in game number 1 or game number 2 especially. I think Word of God and Periodic Chaos played that very well early. So up against that type of skill depth, that's really good to see, and I hope you guys see that success moving forward. Um, First off, though, tell us a little bit about how Facebook runs the League of Legends program because I hear you guys have a corporate Discord server. Like, what goes on there? How do you guys come up with the teams?
Do you want to take this or?
Sure. I guess I can take this one. So as far as I'm aware, the teams are sort of assigned by rank. I think in order to give us sort of the strongest competitive advantage against the rest of the corporations in the tournament. I think Senators is one of our strongest teams. They have a lot of our strongest players, as far as I'm aware. So, and I of course think their skill was on display today. So, props to them for that. Um, but other than that, I think it's a pretty um, relaxed environment. We don't like to take ourselves too seriously.
And to add on to that, I think a lot of the things that we like to focus on is just whether or not people enjoy playing with the players that they're playing with. And so that's actually one of the big things when Zizzy and Voltric, who help run the whole corporate League of Legends at Facebook, try to do is they try to make sure that everybody is sort of on a role that they like to play on or a role they're comfortable with and playing with people who they want to play with or they're comfortable with. Obviously, there are always going to be like you can't match everybody, but we try to best accommodate everybody's like preferences and how seriously they want to take the league. So
Yeah. And that's very good to hear, especially kind of matching with people and making sure they're comfortable in the role is really important. As well. And OP Sad Boys, I believe you were on the Senator Rerun Vlad's team last season, correct? So you guys
yes.
made quarterfinals
Hmm.
with, I believe you on that team you had Really Lost, Potato Shooter, and Chingo as well. I forgot who your
Yes.
jungler was.
Our jungler was Frinkly.
Ah, um,
Right.
Thousand, if you want to take a question here.
Yeah. So was there a plan of going in on some of those picks there? Because I know, like, okay, so the first game we were like, okay, they're gonna be using a lot of like fill-in picks for what they're doing, and then you
Hmm.
guys started picking a lot of junglers, and I was like, what are they swapping those to?
Hmm.
And then they never swapped. Was there like a thought process behind what you guys were doing, or was it just like,
Uh,
I want to try this champion?
Normally, there's usually one player on our team that really wants to play something, and today our support Voltric, who's subbing in for Really Lost, he really wanted to play Lee Sin support. So he really just wanted to first pick that because he loves first picking junglers and then taking it as support. And then after that, it kind of just fell through from there. Everybody was just like, oh, we just want to play anything, and that's pretty much how it went.
And conversely, right? So draft wise, you guys ended up picking late game for both games, Captain Minor. What was kind of your plans for the draft? Was it kind of like, oh, we'll try to survive early, or did you have like certain breakpoints that you were aiming for and potentially trying to look for there?
Yeah, I think in the first game we focused a lot on scaling and comfort picks, just trying to give ourselves the best possible opportunities. In the second game, I think we wanted to maybe switch it up a little bit. I think we all figured that we could take the second game as an opportunity maybe to practice some flexing of the roles a little bit, as you saw with basically everyone switching their roles throughout the game. Um, and yeah, I think our goals were simply to just lose the minimum to survive as long as possible, and if we could do that, maybe there was a chance to come back.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we really I think is very apparent in a lot of Facebook players is that they really just like to play whatever. And so flexibility is something that I think Facebook in general has in its League of Legends roster. I know a lot of our players play like multiple roles and multiple champions. So that's just one characteristic I see out of a lot of our players, which end up being really useful in drafts like this.
I think that's really admirable, and hopefully, as we get later in the season, we see more Facebook teams. Right, we'll see more of that. I think that's really, really cool. Um, so kind of talking a little bit more about the tournament as a whole, I should say. Facebook is benefiting MSF, also known as Doctors Without Borders. I believe both your teams are. So perhaps one of you guys wants to talk a little bit about them. Shout out your charity.
Yeah, Doctors Without Borders is one of those organizations which helps with a lot of international humanitarian medical needs of many endemic countries. A lot of these countries are in conflict zones, so they don't necessarily have the right infrastructure or manpower to help those in need. So Doctors Without Borders is one of those companies that originates in France and basically is one of the champions of helping uh, these lesser countries. And so I think one thing that our support want to do was give it a shout out by picking Mundo support in that last game. So it's Dr. Mundo pick for respect for the Doctors Without Borders.
You know what? I'll take it. Symbolism and all that. Thousand. You got a question here?
Uh, yeah, I mean, so I noticed both games, Chingo on the mid lane there was kind of on like really supportive roaming type of champions. Was that something that was intended, or did that just kind of like work through? And then on top of that, the Callista and Pike kind of switching the Callista into the top lane. Was the Callista always expected to be the top laner, or was that just kind of like, let's just throw it out there and see what's going to happen against this, what I
Yeah,
assumed
yeah.
you thought was the Ornn?
Oh no, Callisto was always going to be the top laner. Our AD really wanted to play Pike, so we just picked Pike. And then Larry Chingo, he really loves playing Nunu especially. So if he thinks that it's a good Nunu angle, we'll usually play like a carry top and then a carry bottom, and then try to just do a level 1 gank to try to abuse the Nunu gank. And I think he really just enjoys those type of champions. The second game he picked the Maokai because he wanted the Ivern to put a bush mid, and then he was going to start E so he could get Pry level 1, and I was going to play Rengar, but I didn't really think it was a good Rengar game, so I didn't end up picking it there.
Gotcha. And kind of one more question, kind of to wrap up some of the corporate type stuff here. Um, so or I guess team goals, season stuff. What is each of your team's team goals going into the season? Right, like where are you guys aiming for, as far as season performance goes?
I think for our team especially is that we felt like we were one of the top teams last season, but we ended up getting, I think a little bit. I felt like we were wrong by the bracket because we ended up having to go middle bracket, even though the only teams we lost to were the top 2 teams. This season we're definitely looking to win. I think that's one thing we're focused on, especially with the loss of the Amazon roster. Even though they got a new team, it's not as oppressive as the old team were. So I definitely think that's one thing we're trying to go for, is to just win it all, because I think we all really hungry to win. So hopefully you guys can see us in the future.
Hopefully that is the case. More Cowbell, Captain Miner. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think for our team, we are, as always, we're looking to enjoy the opportunity that CEA provides. I think as far as end of season goals, we're probably looking to be um, at around an even or slightly positive um, match sort of score line. Um, I think that there are going to be some games for us throughout the season that are going to be pretty good opportunities for wins, and I think that there are going to be some games that are challenges for us. But I think at the end of the day, we're here to have fun. And even even if we have a bad season, we're always going to be looking to cheer on the other teams from our company and hope that they do well as well.
All right then. And finally, you guys got any shout outs you want to give players on your teams, anything of that nature? Now is your time to do it.
I'd like to shout out Really Lost. She couldn't make it today, but she's always, one of the stable people on our team. She's always, at that. She always draws the Zyra band. She keeps the team mental super good. So shout out to her. She couldn't make it today, but shout out.
Yeah, I want to shout out Word of God. I think playing ADC that first game was certainly a challenge, and I think he certainly did the best that he could, and played admirably. And obviously in the second game, he came in with the Lilia out of nowhere, and played very well, I think, considering the circumstances. So I think he had a really good weekend.
All right. And that's a wrap for today's broadcast of the Corporate Esports Association Week 2 League of Legends matchup between Facebook Senator, Rerun Vlads, and more Cowbell. My name is Fennec. That's been Thousand Eyes. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. And no collegiate match this week, unfortunately, as all those games got rescheduled. But next week, we'll be back with more CEA corporate and collegiate action right here on CEA LoL Twitch channel. Until then, we'll see you.